Hello, beautiful peaches. Welcome to the Macros, Metabolism, and Motivation Beautiful Peach Podcast. I'm your host, Caitlen, a reverse diet expert, sustainable fat loss nerd, and food freedom lover. After healing my own mind, body, and metabolism from the icky, restrict, binge, food guilt cycles, I became obsessed with helping other women do the same. I spent 6 years getting my bachelor's and master's degrees in all things nutrition, dietetics, and metabolism health, go Clemson Tigers, in order to start a science-backed, never cookie-cutter, always customized online macro and reverse diet coaching business. I have supported over 3,500 incredible women in their journey to endless results, and I am so excited to help you do the same. In this podcast, I will be teaching you how to break up with the yo-yo diet cycles, tips and tricks to heal your metabolism through reverse dieting. I will be giving away my sustainable weight loss secrets, all without you having to give up a single food you love. So if you're ready to rediscover that self-love and truly become the most confident, beautiful peach possible, grab a pen and a piece of paper, bump up your volume just a little, and let's dive right in. And don't forget to snag your completely free high-protein macro cookbook. All you need to do is submit a quality 5-star rate and review on this podcast, then fill out the form in the show notes so I know exactly where to send your cookbook. This will actually also automatically enter you into the weekly macro calculator giveaway. Every week, I give away a copy of my C. Schmidt macro calculator to one lovely, beautiful peach who has left an awesome 5-star rate and review on this podcast. The winner is announced every single week in my email newsletter email list, as well as my Instagram story. You can't miss it. So leave that 5-star rate and review, and I will see you in the episode. What is up, my beautiful peach? Today, we are going to be talking all about if you should weigh yourself when you are reverse dieting. The scale is a very, very big factor for many women, and it is a huge mindset block. And it was actually a massive mindset block for me. Back when I was deep in the restrict binge cycles, I think I would weigh myself like 5 times a day and completely drag myself through the mud when my weight was higher than when I first woke up. And it's wild now looking back at this because our body's weight will naturally fluctuate not only throughout the day. I mean, think about it. Like I've had probably 50 fluid ounces of water at this point, like that has a weight to it. Food has a weight to it. Our body's natural fluctuations are going to fluctuate. Has quite literally nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the overall fat on our body. It's just our body naturally fluctuating, okay? And it's just wild. Actually, here's an episode that I already have for you. I really wanted to add this in here at the very start because it's very important. If you do have stressors over the scale, go listen to podcast episode 85, Freeing Yourself from the Scale Obsession, Embracing a Healthy Body Image. Such a good one. But we are today going to be really talking about if you should weigh yourself when you are reverse dieting. I've got some tips for you here, and we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. So without further ado, episode number 146, should you weigh yourself when reverse dieting? Okay, so we have 3 different categories to take into account here. Number 1 is the woman who stresses about the number on the scale and wants to learn to disconnect from that stress. Number 2 is the woman who stresses about the number on the scale and has tried to disconnect, but she is finding herself having huge mental blocks. And number 3 is the woman, I have this written down, it's so funny, the woman who doesn't give a crap what the scale says and that came out Southern for some reason, and just wants to see her body change.
That actually really, who doesn't, gave a cray up what the scale says. I was born and raised in Georgia, but my parents are from the north, so I say both instead of both. I can't say that way. I say both. I add an L in there. My dad says it that way, and then I also sometimes do say y'all. So I've got a weird in between. But people hear me talk and they think I'm actually from the north. I don't know, Minnesota, and it's funny because I'm no, I was actually born in Georgia. Anyway, first things first, we're gonna dive into the woman who stresses about the number on the scale and wants to learn to disconnect from that stress. And if this is you, if this is your case, I actually do suggest tracking your weight using a scale. Also, just to preface, just in case this gets confusing, I don't think it should. There is a difference of a food scale, and that's you weighing your food, and that's what we do with tracking macros. And then there's a scale, we're stepping on a scale for our body. That's the scale we're talking about, the scale that we're measuring our weight. Just in case, I was I don't think that should be a confusion, but just in case, I'm adding that in there. But if this is you are stressed about the number on the scale, but you want to learn to disconnect from that stress, I do suggest using a scale to track your weight. And the reason for this is because when we are tracking our macros, when we are reverse dieting and we are doing it correctly, we are actually 110% doing it correctly, you will see results, okay? And it will happen over time. It's not going to happen overnight, which is why I always recommend, if you're just doing your starting macros, if you're not into reverse dieting yet, and you're not into a calorie deficit yet, you're just getting your starting macros out. And those could be for starting macros for reverse diet or a calorie deficit, but give yourself 6 weeks of consistently hitting those numbers. And or I guess, if you are, starting your reverse diet, give yourself 3 to 4 months of consistently going through that reverse diet. The reason for this is because we will be in a place where we are already having that consistency, which gives us more of a chance to actually start working on the mentality around the scale and the fluctuations. We've already bypassed making sure we're having that consistency and all of that fun stuff. And the reason for this thought process too of number one, wanting to, so yes, weighing yourself and using the scale, making sure that you're having that consistency during that process is because, and this is kind of a weird segue that I have in my notes actually. Now that I'm saying this, I'm this is a really weird segue. But this is such a weird segue, but we're going to roll with it. Muscle weighs more than fat. And I know it sounds like a weird segue, but there's a reason for this. So muscle weighs more than fat. And as you are gaining muscle, which you do in a reverse diet, if you're curious as to why, go listen to episode number 111, why you cannot properly build muscle in a calorie deficit. This will give you a lot of insight of why you don't see muscle belt growth in a calorie deficit. So go listen to that episode after this one. Now, as you're gaining muscle like you do in a reverse diet, you might not see the scale move literally at all, or you might see it fluctuate a little bit. Sometimes it goes down a little bit. Sometimes it trends up a little bit. Overall, this is your weight range. Please note, there should not be mass weight regain during a reverse diet. That is not a reverse diet. I have people coming to me saying, hey, I gained 15 pounds during my reverse diet. And I'm like, honey bunny, that's not a reverse diet. It's not the way the reverse diet works. A reverse diet is very strategic and very, 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 very precise. We are adjusting either our protein or our fat or our carbs one at a time in order to make sure that your metabolism is slowly but surely adapting to a higher calorie intake, okay? And you're not seeing the weight regain. So please take that into consideration if somebody is having you do a reverse diet and adjusting your, calories by 50 or 100. That's not the way we go about things, okay? And the point here we go. This is a good one. If you want to learn more about that, go to episode 109, Will You Gain Weight When You Reverse Diet? I've got lots of information in there. But that being said, when we are reverse dieting, we are eating more food, which in turn gives our body more to build muscle with. But the really cool thing about this is you can also be losing fat at the same time. So for a lack of better terms, I'm going to use the word swapping. You are basically swapping your fat for muscle. Okay, fat for muscle. And what does this mean? The scale might not move, or it might not move very much. It might go a little bit up, a little bit down, right? Not very much moving, but your body composition is improving, okay? So for the women who are hyper fixating on the scale and only the scale, they assume they've had literally zero progress. When in fact, they have been having kick butt progress. They are eating 600 more calories in their reverse diet. They are down in inches in their waist. Or they have maintained, however, their progress pictures, right? Their body composition, when they're comparing their progress pictures, are looking different, okay? I have a client who is up 2 pounds in her weight range, which in my mind, I don't actually see that up. But I know a lot of times people are in the mentality of like, my weight is up from X number, but it's like, you have a range. Like I really highly encourage you not to look at your weight as one set number. Highly encouraged, because your body, you literally do not have one set number weight. Like you just don't, your body's going to fluctuate every single day. So you need to look at your weight as a range. So in this case, her in her weight range, hers is on like a little bit of a higher end. However, she's eating 800 more calories and her inches on her waist is down. So if she were hyper focused on just her weight, she would think she's literally having zero success, when in reality, she's building muscle, her inches are down, she's eating 800 more calories, and that is insane, literally insane progress, like freaking insane. But that's the kind of progress my clients get. Like that's just the way it is, okay? So if you want to work on your relationship with the scale, I do suggest using the scale so you can start to, okay, right? Triscuit's in here. Hi, Triscuit. Hopefully she doesn't start barking at squirrels. We'll find out. To be determined on that one. We've got squirrels. Oh, good. She's going to sunbathe. Even better. So she can't see the squirrels. Tee. Okay, so I do suggest using the scale, but I also suggest you tracking your body measurements, tracking your progress pictures, tracking your energy, your libido, has your cycle changed, tracking your gym progress, your strength, your endurance, your energy, right? Tracking all of these pieces in addition to the scale, because what's going to happen is you're going to start to see how the scale changes, but you're also going to see all of the positives that are coming from your progress pictures that are coming from, your macros, you eating 900 more calories. You're going to see all of these extra pieces, okay? Because the scale is like 10% important when it comes to reverse dieting. Oh gosh, she's up there and I think she spotted a squirrel. We'll find out. But the scale is literally just another data metric. It's literally 10%, maybe like even 5% of, importance. It's not going to give you the big picture at all, okay? It is not. So if you want to get rid of the stress on the scale, track the number on the scale, but also track all of those other metrics so you can, and really lean into these other metrics so you can actually see those changes happen. And this will start to basically help you disassociate from the stress on the scale and prove to you that the scale literally does not freaking matter, okay? The scale does not matter, okay? Now, if you are a woman who stresses about the number on the scale and does not want to learn to disconnect from the scale, simply put, do not weigh yourself. Just don't do it. I have a few clients who don't weigh themselves, and this is fine, right? Because we are tracking all of those other variables that I just mentioned. If the number on the scale is going to derail your mindset and it's going to cause you to miss the bigger picture, when you dig deeper into your body's needs, you can realize the scale is just a small picture, okay? But if it's going to derail your mindset, it is not worth it, okay? I actually find that the clients who are so much in a place where the scale is literally making or breaking their day, they actually don't get as much progress because they are so hyper-focused on the number of the scale, they literally cannot see anything else but that number. So they wake up and it's higher than what it was the day before, even though we don't track just one number, we track a range. And they now think, oh my God, I need to restrict. Oh my gosh, I am off track. Oh my gosh, I am, I'm already up in weight, might as well go blow it today, okay? And they end up in this all or nothing mindset, all or nothing mentality, when in reality, the scale literally does not freaking matter. But my point here is if the scale is going to derail your mindset, do not track it. It is literally not worth it. It is not worth it, okay? And the last one here is if you are somebody who could care less about what the scale says, you just want to see your body change, like cheers to you, you've already bypassed that. It took me years upon years upon years to get to the point of being this woman who's like, I don't care about the scale. It is the best feeling in the world. I legitimately don't care. I care about what my body looks like. I care about how I feel. I care that my libido is rocking. I care that my energy is rocking. I care that I am energized, right? Like I care about how I feel and my body and my progress pictures. But it took me a long time to get there, okay? It is more important to focus on, I really, really think all of those other variables are so much more important than the scale, okay? Now, if you need help, I've got 2 thoughts for you. Number 1, and these are actually the last of each of these for the year. So my Master Your Macros, my 6-week challenge is still going to be open for another 2 days. It is the last challenge of the year. If you are somebody who is brand new to macros, you are somebody who really struggles with the all or nothing mindset, and you're not new to macros, but you're just really struggling with, tracking macros in social settings, with the all or nothing mindset, with getting yourself on track, and you find yourself starting over and over and over. This is an amazing, amazing, amazing place to start. It is my 6-week challenge. The ladies who just went through the challenge are literally freaking killing it. And it will get you into a place where one of the clients in there hit her lowest weight that she's seen in years. The other client, who's a huge perfectionist, was like, I literally am eating the food I love. I understand that her perfectionism isn't causing her to go into all or nothings. Somebody else was starting over every single weekend and no longer is doing so, and she's hit her 5 pounds down. It is the place to start, okay? And if you are somebody who's nope, I am ready to start learning to adjust my macros. I am ready for, the high level accountability. My beautiful Peach Mastermind is also going to be open, I believe, in a couple days from this episode. And both of these links will be down below in the show notes, but these are both the last round of the year. So if you want to work with me and you want to be in a place going into the new year, actually hitting your goals, right? You could be 10 pounds down by the new year. You could be, when this episode goes live, I actually think in that timeline from now to the new year, you could literally be eating, if I am doing this math correctly, somewhere around 400 more calories in your reverse diet, okay? And going in and waking up on Christmas morning and going to dinner, sitting there with your little holiday cocktail in hand, just looking around, feeling good. Great Aunt Karen's not commenting on your body. You're just living your best life, okay? If you need help, now is the time to do it. We have plenty of time in this year. So with all this, my throat is sore. I don't know if you can tell. It's getting sore over here. I am so appreciative of you, and I'm always, always, always here for your support. Please do not forget how gosh darn worthy and capable and wonderful you are. I will see you in the next episode. Bye, beautiful Peach.